case. So that's, yeah, I wouldn't say the downside is the cost you have to pay for more programmability. It kind
I
of
have,
like Ethereum.
yeah.
So if you have smaller,
Mm.
contract, you pay less fees. But if you have more complicated, contract, let's say some zero knowledge proof thing, then you have to pay more. Yeah, it's just the cost of using more advanced features. Yeah,
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
no problem. Okay, let's keep going if there's no more question. So another big thing, I think this is also one of my favorite. I wish somebody could build this. Okay, so anybody heard about runes or a dog or pizza? Okay, okay. Okay, not everyone with you is like as DJ as me. Okay, if you don't know about this, the big thing is there's a massive airdrop to the community. I think, for example, you have 10,000, community members. You want to airdrop to that all of them. You have to send 10,000, or sometimes even you have a huge community. You have 1 million users, and then how do you airdrop to each one of them? You send 1 million transactions. Can you imagine the cost? Even on Fractal, it's super expensive, right? But if you use, let's say, CAD, because of now you have off CAD, you can use so-called, Merkle tree approach. What does it do? So instead of sending 1 million transactions, you only send one transaction. What does this transaction do? You just put in all these addresses at the root of the level of the tree, and then you just put like a root hash into the contract. And then what does the contract do? So you check when somebody wants to claim. So let's say Alice, Bob, and Charlie, right? So before I have to drop, like send to them each one of them one individual transaction. Right now, but now if I can use airdrop contract, I only send one transaction. And Alice, Bob, and Charlie, they come here, use this contract to claim the airdrops. Okay, so that's a huge like efficiency gain if you are the issuer, but you want to do a massive airdrop. This is actually what people are doing on Ethereum, but it's not available to Bitcoin unless, thankfully now if you have OpCat, you can do this airdrop in one transaction instead of 1 million transactions. Okay. So if you're like you don't have to, if you're like a Leonidas, you want to airdrop some dog tokens to your community, you don't have to pay like a massive fees. I think some people pay like I think a pizza airdrop by Unisat, I think it's maybe like $1 million or something, close to millions, yeah, of fees. So right now here, you instead of paying $1 million, you pay maybe, I don't know, $10 or $100, and everybody who wants to claim, they come to this contract to claim their tokens or Bitcoin or whatever, yeah. So definitely, yeah, if you're interested, yeah, this is something I think very useful for, all the tools, yeah. Okay. So let's keep going if there's no more question. So another big thing I think we already hinted about is, so if you look at the CAD protocol, the documentation, I think one of the biggest feature is so-called you can enable trustless cross-chain bridge. So for people who heard about this, let's say, bridge right now on Bitcoin, anything on Bitcoin is usually there's some kind of a trust involved. What does this mean? So basically the bridge usually works is you have Bitcoin and then you have another chain. Let's say I use a random example here. Could be any blockchain. Okay. Let's say you deposit one Bitcoin to a certain address. It's some kind of escrow. Now it's locked up, right? And then the other blockchain checks, hey, whether this really Alice has deployed one Bitcoin. So if yes, they're going to issue some kind of token, like some kind of a wrapped BTC, right? And then on the new chain, you use this wrapped Bitcoin to do whatever you want. You can stake it, you can swap it, you can lend it, you do anything you want. And then when you are ready, you want to go back, then you ask the operator, the bridge operator, hey, I want to back. And then the bridge operator check, hey, you really have one Bitcoin? You can burn it, right? The wrapped Bitcoin, and then it's going to give you back the native Bitcoin on BTC. Okay. So the biggest risk here is of course, you can imagine this operator has a lot of power, okay, because he can, if he can steal your coin. I mean, the worst case, Bitcoin, right? Because he has the keys to unlock. So that's why this trustless bridge is really important, because now you have OpCat. What you can do is so-called SPV, simple payment verification, also a technique mentioned in the Bitcoin white paper. So instead of depositing to somebody to address, now you deposit to a smart contract. Okay, this contract is basically it's also the operator, but now it's not controlled by someone or some user. There's no private key to it. So the way it works is, so after you deposit to this, let's say 1 Bitcoin to this Bitcoin address, which is like a smart contract, on the other blockchain, you can verify, hey, this really happened by doing the a SPV. You can check the Merkle proof. You can also check the block header is real because it has so many zeros in it. So if all this checks out, you're going to issue the contract on another blockchain is going to issue the wrapped BTC. So after it's done, it burns the wrapped BTC and then sends the same thing, the block headers and the Merkle proof back into Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin, this address, this contract was holding the original 1 Bitcoin. You're going to check, hey, this is really one wrapped BTC and also has been burned on another chain. So I'm going to release you can now release the 1 Bitcoin that's previously locked. Okay. So this solves the trust issue for bridge operators, which is almost considered as a holy grail for any kind of a cross-chain bridge. Okay.
Quick interruption, XiaoHui. We're running up on time. I don't know how long you still had in your presentation. I don't know if you were coming to an end. I just want to be mindful of everyone's time.
How much time do I have? I'll come.
Well, technically we're over now. We have Rashad that is in the room ready to speak.
Oh, okay. Let's quickly wrap it up. I think in 2 minutes. Is it okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, if you have time, you can always come back in too if there's a lot,
Yeah, sure. We also have the Thursday space, right? So I can also talk over that.
Well, the Thursday space is more like a public thing. Like,
okay.
I meant for the private. Yeah. The spaces, we're going to send you an invitation.
Yeah, sure. I'm more than happy to come back and So yeah, let's
go for it.
Let's speed up a little bit. So let's just talk about the Trustless Bridge, and of course you can build. People already build DEXs, but you can also build like Uniswap, but on Bitcoin. Okay, that's something definitely doable. I just show you some diagram. People have been building this on some other blockchain with OpCat, so definitely something doable, but nobody has done it. And also you can do like an RV, for lending and borrowing, but more trustlessly. Okay, because everything is enforced by contract. You can also do lending, on RV on Bitcoin. Also, you can do stable, algorithmically stable coin enforced. You can have some kind of like a collateral using either Bitcoin or whatever other like CAT20 or CAT71. You can using as collateral and use some kind of like a algorithm to try to maintain a peg, versus USD or Bitcoin, whatever you would choose. And also you can use CAT to build staking. Okay, so it's like a Babylon, but without trusting anybody. Okay, right now Babylon, because that's the OpCat missing, so it still have some trust assumptions, in some worst cases, but you can completely eliminate that even counterparty risk with OpCat. Okay, so you can do staking, but also you can also do oracles. Okay, so think about Chainlink, but it's on Bitcoin with OpCat. So the good thing is it's better than DLC because you don't have to pre-sign transactions. You don't have to know all the parties in advance. It's just like you are just checking some signatures. Okay, so you can put any data you want. Date, price, weather, or election. I mean, still, we don't know the result today. You can even build it today. All right, if you really want to capture, it's like a poly market, but on Bitcoin. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today.